Hello everyone, my name is Utsav Giri. My student ID is 238633 and today I'll be presenting my service encounter review for Crown Plaza Melbourne. In this 10-minute presentation, I'll be first providing some background about the business, then explain my personal expectation as a guest. After that, I'll be apply the rater mold model responsiveness assurance, tangibles, empathy, and reliability to evaluate the service I experienced, and then I will connect my findings with the SoftQuel framework and highlight the service gap. And finally, I will conclude with summary of strengths, weakness, and recommendation. And so, this structured approach allows us to see not only what went well in the encounter, but also where improvements are needed in order to provide service excellence. So now let's go to another slide. So in this slide I have talked about the background of business. So Crown Plaza Melbourne is a 4.5-star hotel located on Spencer Street right along the Yarra River. So it is a part of the Intercontinental Hotels Group, a global hospitality company, thousands of properties. The properties offers luxury accommodation, restaurants, bar, a rooftop pool, and extensive conference facilities. This means the hotel serves both leisure and business travelers, so service quality must meet a wide range of expectation. And I visited the property as a dining guest at the restaurant. These encounters gave me the chance to experience the service quality from a food and beverage perspective. And in hotel like Crown Plaza, restaurants are not just about food, they are also an extension of the hotel brands. Therefore, the quality of service in the restaurant is just as important as the room or event spaces. So now let's go to the next slide. So in this slide I have talked about my expectation. My expectations were influenced by the strong reputation of the IHG brand. Since Crown Plaza is marketed as an upper scale hotel, I was anticipating service that went beyond the basics. I expected a warm welcome, quick and professional service, a clean and attractive environment, and a high quality food. I also expected staff to be confident, knowledgeable, and willing to personalize their services. So, as a guest, I also wanted to feel that my experience represented value for money. In hospitality, customers do not just evaluate the tangible product like the meal itself, but also the emotion created by the service. For me, this meant looking for a balance between efficiency, professionalism, and personal care. So now let's go to the next slide. So in this slide, I've talked about rater responsiveness. So the first dimension of rater is responsiveness, the willing to help customer promptly. So when I arrived, I was greeted by a hostess, which created a positive first impression. Sorry. However, after being seated, there was a noticeable delay before a waiter came to my table, and for a few minutes I felt overlooked, which slightly lowered my initial satisfaction. So, and sorry, once service began, the staff were friendly and checked in during the meal, which was so deferred. But those first moments matter, especially in a premium hotel restaurant. A short delay can feel longer to a guest, and a competitive hospitality attentive can make or break the first impression. So now let's go to the next slide. So in this slide I've talked about assurance. So it is a second dimension which refers to the knowledge and courtesy of employees and their ability to inspire trust. So in this case, the waiter showed strong product knowledge. When I asked about dishes, they confidently explained ingredients and gave recommendations. The uniform, polite tone, and confidence communication reassured me that I was in good hands. The hotel reputation also helped with assurance. The visible IRG branding and award in the lobby reinforced that this was a professional and a reliable establishment. Together, these elements gave me confidence in both the food and the services. So now let's go to the next slide. So in this slide I have talked about tangibles. So it is a third dimension which refers to the physical environment and appearance of staff. So here here Crown Plaza performed very well. The riverside location provided attractive view. The lobby was modern and stylish, and the restaurant area was clean and comfortable. And the tables were seat, neatly sheet, lightly was warm, and the staff looked professional in their uniform. So in hospitality, tangibles often set expectation before the services even begin. In this case, the premium environment gave me the expectation that service will be equally high in quality. So now let's go to the next slide. In this slide I have talked about the empathy. It is the fourth dimension, which is about caring, individualized attention. So in my encounter, staff were polite and professional, but interaction felt standardized. There was no effort to ask if I had preference, whether I was celebrating something, or if I needed any specific recommendation. So personalization is more important in premium hospitality. Even small gestures such as addressing guests by name or checking in with more personal touch can relate or create a lasting impression. In my experience, efficiency was prioritized over empathy. This did not make the service poor, but it stopped in from being truly memorable. So now let's go to the next slide. In this slide, I've talked about the reliability. So it is a final dimension which refers the ability to deliver what is promised consistently. So the food I ordered was served correctly and tasted exactly as described on the menu. This shows reliability in terms of accuracy and quality. However, this service was slightly slower than I expected for a hotel of this standard. Overall, reliability was acceptable but not excellent. The essentials were delivered, but the timeless could be improved. So now let's go to the next slide. In this slide, I have talked about the quality gap identified. So using SERVQual model, I identified a gap 3 service delivery gap. This occurs when the service actually delivered does not fully match the standard the guest expect. So in my case, the gap was clear in two areas: the slow initial responsiveness and the lack of personalization. This suggests that while staff were trained and professional, the service delivery did not reach the level promised by the brand. So studies in service management shows that this gap often occurs when staffs are under pressure or when systems prioritize efficiency over empathy. The risk is that the guest leaves satisfied but not delighted. Over time, this can reduce repeat business and loyalty, even if other services elements are strong. So the next slide, I've talked about conclusion and summary. In conclusion, my service encounter at Crown Plaza Melbourne was good overall but not outstanding. So strength includes the tangible such as the stylish environment and clean facilities, as well as assurance with the professional. The knowledge, staff, reliability was also solid with accurate food delivery. However, weaknesses were clear in responsiveness and empathy. The delay before service and the lack of personalized interaction mean that the experience did not feel as premium as I had expected. My expectations were partially met but not exceeded. For a brand like Crown Plaza, exceeding expectation is essential to differentiate itself from competitors. Improvements could include faster initial service, more staff's training to personalization, and encouraging employees to connect with guests on an emotional level. So now with these changes, the hotel could evaluate the service from simply good to truly excellent. This case study shows how the waiter model and SoftQual framework can provide clear insights of sorry, a framework can provide clear insights into service encounter and highlights area where organization can close the gap between expectation and reality. So thank you guys. That's all for today.